we have the pleasure to listen to Father Edmund, who will lead us back to Confucian time. And it is in such contrast with what we have just listened to for the present day. The topic of the presentation is the following: knowledge as realization, a Confucian account of contemplation. Please, Father O. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Allow me to introduce the topic with something autobiographical. It's not very nice to do this, but it's very meaningful. Well, before I joined the order, as you can see, before I joined the order, I had a spiritual director who was a Jesuit, and this very good director, he informed me that actually the spirituality of Saint Ignatius was derived from the Dominican spirituality. Because in, as you know, in St. Thomas Aquinas' Summa Theologiae, Secunda Secundae, St. Thomas discusses the question of contemplative life and active life. And then St. Thomas goes on and concludes by saying that well, the contemplative life is superior, but it is more excellent to contemplate and to pass on to the others our contemplation. Contemplation and activity is, as a unity, will be much better than just to contemplate alone. And it's very meaningful for me to be here with my Jesuit colleagues, to meditate on contemplation and action again. Very touching and great honor to share this panel with Father Stefan and Father Yara. So today I will speak about Confucianism. My research is on comparative philosophy. So what I will do is this. I will first look at contemplation and action from Aristotle. And then I want to explore to see, is there anything in Confucian texts that could indicate a similar activity of contemplation and action? Right, so let's begin. So we go back to the Nicomachean Ethics, right? And as Father Peter reminded us yesterday, contemplation is theoria. And by theoria, Aristotle means, the activity of study, observation, and understanding something. Right? So it could be an idea, it could be something in physical reality, right? And then action would be praxis. And so praxis refers to what is done intentionally and rationally. And so it's something that we do freely by choice and with decision. Right? And as probably you already noticed, so in Aristotle, there's an important relationship between contemplation and happiness, because he thinks that to contemplate provides the conditions that make us suitable to become happy. Because for him, happiness is an activity. He insists that it is not a state, but it's an activity. And so, eudaimonia. Right? So that is the highest good. That's the best place to be as a human being, to be in the activity of eudaimonia, happiness. Right? Because it's the purpose of living our life. Right? And then if you accomplish this, you are practicing this activity of happiness, then you are fulfilled, fully fulfilled. You're complete. And so for this part, this is my observation. First conclusion with this. So contemplative in action, in let's say the Aristotelian, in the Greek sense, would be someone who uses contemplation, theoria, to grasp the nature of reality through observation and examination. So the first step to making good decisions, the first step to acting well, living well, is to first understand this reality. Right? So contemplation and action in this dimension. So I'm going to contrast this to what I found in the Confucian tradition, which is next. But before that, excuse me, I found this interesting quotation from Pope Francis recently, before I was preparing for the paper. And it took place during this Wednesday catechesis. The Pope is doing this catechesis now on the Acts of the Apostles. And he was talking about the discernment of Gamaliel, in Acts of the Apostles, the Pharisee who told the others, who told his colleagues that you must not go against, do not try to destroy the disciples, because Jesus died, and if it's a work of man, the movement will die by itself. Right? But so if it's not from God, this movement will disappear. This Christian movement will disappear by itself. Right? And so the Pope comments on this. Discernment, according to Gamaliel, in Acts of the Apostles, it's like this. Right? It's an art, and discernment is an art of spiritual intelligence, by which we learn to see reality with a contemplative look, right? And discovering God's presence in our lives. So you can see, that, shall we say, it is the Catholic understanding of contemplation, or maybe even we could dare say that it's an Ignatian way of contemplation, that it's to do with a gaze outwards to reality, and to find God in ordinary things. And next thing, let us see the Zhongyong. We call it the practice of the mean. Right? And this is considered the most spiritual text in the classical Confucian canon, the 4 books. Right? And I would say that the contemplative practice in Confucianism consists in this shen du. Okay, so the shen means to be vigilant. Shen means to be vigilant or to be careful, and du means to be alone or to be singular. Right? So one way of translating it is to be careful about one's inner self. Sometimes it's translated as being vigilant when you are alone. Yeah. So there's this idea that we have to be vigilant about one's inner quality. Right? So this is from the Zhongyong. Right? There is nothing more visible than what is hidden. There is nothing more apparent than what is obscure. Therefore, the noble man is careful about his inner self. So when joy and anger, sorrow and happiness have not yet arisen, call it the center, which is Zhong. Right? When joy and anger, sorrow, happiness have arisen, and yet all are in perfect balance, call it harmony. Right? So the Confucian notion of the good life is to, if possible, be in the state of tranquility. However, if you're already aroused by the emotions, to attain a state of balance or harmony. Right? And so, I would argue that in Confucian worldview, to know yourself, to know your own inner movements, right, is the key to understanding reality. This is the Confucian dimension. So here's the second conclusion, right? The tentative conclusion. You may want to argue with me, disagree with me. That's fine, but let me put it out there first. So contemplative action in the Confucian dimension is this: someone who understands his or her own humanity, and this is through self-examination. Right? And then this self-understanding of human nature, from my own, allows me to make good decisions and to act well and to live well. Alright? So I think this might be a way of looking at contemplation and action in classical Confucianism. Right? Okay, so to finish up this presentation, I will bring us to this text that I found recently in translation. Cao Panlong. He's from the 17th century. He comes after the Song Neo-Confucian philosopher Zhu Xi. He's in that tradition, the Neo-Confucianism, and Cao Panlong wrote several texts, some poems about let us call it Confucian meditation. It's called 静坐. 静坐 is literally means quiet sitting quietly by yourself. Or you could sit with others, but in silence. You could sit in a group, but sit in silence. So the one important text is this one here, the 静坐说, the treatise on quiet sitting. And according to Cao, to contemplate means to return to stillness, and to recover one's original nature, in a very ordinary way, in the everyday circumstances of your life. Yes. So here I read to you this. Okay. So this is from the 静坐说, the treatise on quiet sitting. Normalcy and ordinariness, they express our essential living substance because it is clear and pure, unperturbed by anything. We call it normal and ordinary. Right? So if you go back to this, back to the Zhongyong. See the character Zhongyong, right, is very meaningful because this word means center, or the mean, center, Zhong. And Yong means ordinary, the usual things. And so Cao Panlong is telling us about this, that when we practice this 静坐, to sit quietly, is to return to what is normal and ordinary. There's nothing, shall we say, supernatural about it. It is spiritual, but it's not something supernatural. Right? Let's say that. Right? So the Confucian stress is on Yong, ordinary. So Cao teaches us that contemplation is simply to quiet yourself, every day, or do a retreat, once a year, to quiet yourself and recover your strength. Right? And so for him, 静坐 is the means by which we get in contact with our nature, which is given by Tian Helen, which is originally quiet, or let's say calm. Right? Okay. So I'm almost done. So here I would say that in Cao Panlong's text, when he says 静, we call it stillness, that would be his term for contemplation. And dong, the movement, would be his notion for action. Right? So if we were to speak about contemplative in action, for Confucian point of view, it might be this term, this practice that we find in the Neo-Confucian texts. Right? And this stillness and movement, contemplation and action, have this mutual dependence. So through contemplating, we come in contact with our human personality. In Confucianism, in Orthodox Confucianism, human nature is originally good. Right? And this allows us to live well, make good choices. And by living well, we reinforce our goodness in human nature. So these are my references. Thank you for